You wanna know what's interesting? Why is it that some wholesalers spend money on PPC and 10x their business's revenue, while other wholesalers burn their money and go belly up? They're using the exact same platform, the exact same traffic, and the exact same tested and proven playbook that we know works when it comes to scaling wholesaling companies. The biggest difference is they achieve wildly different outcomes. And once you understand why this happens, you know exactly when PPC makes sense, when to use it versus when not to use it, more specifically, how to increase your margins, how to increase your revenue and profit, as opposed to destroying them and going out of business. This channel exists to provide you free, actionable insights to help you scale to $100,000 per month in pure profit sustainably, not recklessly. So in this video, I'm breaking down why some of the top PPC performers perform the way they do versus ones who fail. And the entire point of this is so you could decide whether or not running PPC Google ads in 2026 is a smart move or it becomes a costly distraction. So let me show you what this looks like in the real world. We have our client Chris here from Homebuyer Heroes, who went from $20,000 a month to $300,000 per month in less than 90 days with our exact same system. We had Brent Erickson go from $0 to $214,000 per month in closed and funded assignment fees, speaking on events, going on podcasts in about 6 months of working with us. We also have a guy named Dominic who's getting an 8x return on his ad spend and hitting $650,000 per month in revenue from his wholesaling business. We got two 20-year-olds, Greenbelt properties based in Colorado, that are hitting consistent $100,000 per month. And obviously we had Brent Daniels, who used to be a partner, that was getting a 6x return on his ad spend with our services. I want to mention, these are not lucky breaks or lucky draws or just unicorn clients. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the exact data points that I've tracked and analyzed over the last 4 years of being in business, which I will share with you. That way, you know, based on your current situation, whether or not you are suited to implement inbound marketing. With that said, let's go to the iPad and dive right in. So the first thing, let's talk about why wholesalers fail with PPC. I call this the $50,000 mistake, because you're spending money on ad spend, you're spending money on management fees, and you're spending it over a long enough time horizon. And if you fail with it and you don't make money, it comes a $50,000 PPC mistake. Here's what most agencies will never tell you. Most wholesalers should not be running Google PPC ads or Facebook ads in general. They're not ready for inbound marketing. And here's why. 4 main reasons. Number 1 is you lack the experience. Everybody starts from somewhere, but if you're trying to go 10 toes deep right out of the gate into an expensive, costly marketing platform like PPC or Facebook ads, you're going to fail. I can almost guarantee it. The second thing is a low marketing budget. 90% of wholesalers running PPC right now can solve their performance of their campaigns by simply just spending more. Because if they're getting decent results, like they're getting leads that are somewhat qualified and are closing deals, if they just spent more money, they'll scale a lot quicker. Third thing is bad economics. We're going to talk about what this looks like in a second, but simple terms, the numbers of the business, the cash flow doesn't make sense. For example, if you're in California and you're a local investor, you're trying to do $5,000 is the average cost per deal, and your average assignment fee is only like $8,000 to $12,000. Those numbers don't make sense. As opposed to being a experienced wholesaler in California where you can get $20,000, $30,000, or even $40,000 fees, a $5,000 cost per acquisition doesn't seem so bad. So it's making sure the economics, the cost makes sense. And because of the fact that people don't, that's why they go belly up. Final thing is no team and processes. We don't have many clients that are solo that perform very well, right? Typically they have a team behind them that does the front end lead screen, that does the lead qualification, that handles the dispo, that handles the transaction coordinating. That way they can focus on what they do best, which is deal making. Wholesalers that try to dive into marketing as a one-man show, they will make it work for a specific amount of time, maybe 3, 4, 5 months. But you do that for like a year, they're going to burn out. And then as a result, everything comes crashing down. Because what goes up fast will always come down fast, just as fast. So like I said, the best analogy of giving a newbie or an unexperienced wholesaler PPC leads is basically giving a F1 car to a student driver. You don't want to do that. Bad things can happen. You end up wasting a lot of money. This is what kills wholesalers and makes you go out of business. So please don't do that. So here's an observation that I had over the last 5 years of running this company. The most common PPC complaints are what? The lead is low quality, the market is too competitive, and it's too expensive. Let's handle each and every single one of them. Is it the leads that suck, or is it the client that doesn't know how to close? The investor that doesn't know how to close? Who knows? The second thing is the market's too competitive. Okay, a newbie would say that, but an experienced investor would never say that. What would they say instead? They would say, oh, I've been in this market for a while. I know this market like the back of my hand, and they use that to their advantage. They know that because it's competitive, there's money to be made in that market, which is why they're still in that market, because they're making money. The final thing is too expensive. The only reason it's too expensive expensive. Either number one, the agency you're working with doesn't know what they're doing. They're not generating you leads, so you're just losing money, which is why it's expensive, or the economics don't make sense. You're spending $5,000 to make $8,000 back. Makes no sense. You're trying to operate your company off of 3K, which is, I don't know percentage, but if your gross profit margin is $3,000 on a deal, you have to run your entire company, all the expenses, your payroll, your overhead, your commissions off of that 3K becomes very, very slim, and you're very unprofitable, and then you're gonna go out of business. That's what I've seen, right? Maybe not you, hopefully not you. I think back at every successful client we've had and realized that we've never gotten to any of these excuses or complaints because they have the foundations, processes, and the team to handle it. If you have the foundation, marketing, PPC, cold calling, direct mail, whatever the case is, just adds fuel to the fire. If you add fuel to a tiny fire, something could happen, just not as big. But the analogy is if it's a giant campfire and you pour gas into it, it blows up, right? And that's what we want whenever we implement PPC. Again, this is an internal metric that I actually don't think I've ever shared. One thing I've noticed for me is that we've changed our ideal client profile, so who we actually bring on as a client, and lock down our vetting process. And all of a sudden, I kid you not, all of our lead complaints or fires or issues went non-existent. Our client satisfaction and happiness went through the roof. Client results were at an all-time high. And we realized that it was just because we were bringing on clients that have basically earned the right to run PPC. I don't say this to offend or discourage anybody. I just say this to be transparent and honest. Some people, for example, are not ready to hire a COO. If you're doing $100,000 a month in a wholesaling business and you're looking at hiring a COO, it's just like, you don't need one. You haven't built the company big enough to where it's even worth it for a good COO to come in and run your company. That's my opinion. Like I said, PPC does not fix a shitty wholesale operation. It scales a performing one. Fuel to the fire. With that said, let's talk about the 5 non-negotiables that I look for in a client before they should even run PPC. So if this is you and you don't fit this criteria, take some time, trust me, save your money, put PPC to the side. Look at it as a milestone as opposed to something you need to do now. Number 1, what I find works best based off of the survey that I ran on our clients is that wholesalers that have been in the business for more than 2 years and are wholesaling full time. I've noticed that clients that are fully committed to the business and have been in the industry for a while understand the processes of making deals happen and bringing them to the closing line. The most challenging clients I've had are the ones that are part-time and are brand new, because I have to teach them everything from scratch. And the challenging thing is they don't have the time to be able to allocate to this business as much as they need to. Because, for example, if a lead's calling you and you're at your 9-to-5 job, you can't really take a phone call. And that just makes it extremely, extremely difficult. Inexperienced and part-time investors also have little to no reps or pattern recognition to be able to handle real estate deals. Again, everybody starts somewhere, right? Nobody starts doing 10 deals a month right out of the gate. PPC inbound marketing, it's expensive, and there is a level to it because you're also now competing against every other guy that's spending $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 per month that have full-blown sales teams that are doing real estate full-time with them and their entire family. That's who you're competing against. So why would you set yourself up for failure when you haven't even gotten the reps you need to actually make the business work? Don't. It's a waste of money. Another interesting one is that our best clients have a team of at least 3 or more people. So them plus 2 people is typically what it looks like, right? There's a guy on acquisition, there's a guy on dispo, and they're probably doing outsourced transaction coordinating. We realize that if someone has the experience and they have a team, they crush it regardless. They're guaranteed to succeed. So is it possible to scale PPC as a wholesaler solo? Like I said, yes, you absolutely can make some money. The challenge is it going to be consistent? No, I've had numerous amount of clients burn out from trying to scale ad spend as a one-man show, and the exact same thing happens every single time. They close deals, make a lot of money, scale ad spend, try to hire and close, and juggle both things at the same time. If you're new to wholesaling or just business in general, one thing that I've learned is that closing deals and then managing a sales team is 2 completely different things. So I would have a client that's trying to close deals, manage dispo, manage transaction coordinating, and recruit, hire, and train an acquisition manager at the same time. When you're doing 2 heavy tasks like that, you can't do any of them perfect, and as a result, they both go to shit. Third thing, our best clients are always virtual investors. I don't have a client that's like only doing LA County and spending $5-10 grand a month. It's just extremely difficult. And I learned this when I was watching a video about venture capital and private equity, how they scale and how they find companies. The first thing that they look for is the TAM, the total addressable market. Because if we want to close all these deals, we need to make sure there's enough people we can actually market and sell to. And when you're in such a defined market that's so niche, and so small, it makes it very hard because of competition. So you want to diversify your risk by going into many other markets, and as a result, it helps the entire campaign. I have another video about the economics as to why this happens that you can check out, but this is what I've noticed works best. Another interesting thing is all of our best clients, 70-80% of them either come from referrals and they have in a coaching program, they have some sort of mentor, or they're in some big mastermind like Family or Collective Genius or Border, whatever the case is. And I believe the reason why this is because they've already invested in themselves. They have no ego. They're willing to go out of the way, seek coaches because they don't know everything. I love it because if one client does well, they refer me to all their clients. I love it, especially what we vet for whenever we bring on a client. Final thing is the budget. This goes back to what we were talking about before. If you're not spending enough money, don't even do it, because now you're competing against clients that we have that are spending $30, $40, $50, $80,000 per month of PPC. And it's going to be extremely difficult if you're spending $3K in the exact same markets. We're going to eat your account every single time. So if you're not spending enough, it's going to be extremely difficult. Starting out, I always like to recommend on the very, very low end. Let's say you're running Facebook, start with 3 to 5. If you're running PPC, aim towards 8 to 10. If you're watching this and you fit all this, I look at you, I'm like, dude, you're gonna get results and you're gonna scale, and I guarantee it. So these are my 5 non-negotiables. With that said, let's talk about the winning formula. You hit every single checkbox that I showed you. Let's talk about how to actually guarantee your success with PPC. First thing is understanding that PPC is a fuel, not a lifeline. This is something that I've learned after working with clients, because we have some clients that are just starting off working with us and they're looking to implement PPC in their business, and they're treating this as a lifeline as opposed to a fuel, because their company's going belly up, all their deals are falling through, their team's leaving them, still on other deals, whatever the case is. They're coming to me and they're like, oh, you're gonna save my business. I'm like, not quite. I'll get you leads, I'll get you deals, but I can't save your company. It's hard for me to save a family ship. Again, this is all perspective. Our best clients are already doing 3 to 5 deals per month and are profitable. They just want to hop on the rocket ship and achieve more. We can't build or fix a broken company. We scale what works, right? Clients that have a process in place that are making money come to us. We take them on a rocket ship. The formula, 4 things. Data integrity. As much as we love our clients, they don't need us to talk to us every day. We simply need a report from them every single week as to what's working, what's not, what their metrics are. And then from there, we can make data-driven decisions to optimize around within their campaigns. The second thing is timeline and expectations. Let's say you talking to an investor how well someone's going to do in business based on their time horizons, right? If they're looking at things on a 30-day time horizon, you're like, okay, well, it's not the best expectations, but if a guy's like, oh, I'm willing to give this acquisition manager 6 months to prove himself, if he is coachable and then make a decision, he's more likely to succeed. Now, by the way, if it takes 6 months for you to ramp an acquisition manager, there's another problem. I'm just using that as an example. Like I said, I want to add on the logic and the funny thing about this that clears this up every single time. A newbie or someone that doesn't know starts with the 30-day timeline. They're like, hey, I want to determine in 30 days whether or not marketing works or not. An experienced guy is like, hey, I'll give this a 6-month timeline. This is how I go about all my decisions to see. The reason why this logic doesn't work is that on average it takes 60 to 90 days for a deal to close. And if you try to make the decision to cut it off after 90 days because no deals, no money has come in, you're just gonna go in this never ending cycle. You do the same thing with cold calling, direct mail, TV, all of it. It's just never gonna work. And you're gonna be like, oh, wholesaling doesn't work. No, it's just things work. You just have to spend more or give it more time. That's it. Sales process. This is very self-explanatory. If you can't close and negotiate with sellers, you're just not going to make money regardless, whether it's cold calling, regardless of any marketing channel you use. Matter of fact, if you got referrals, you still wouldn't be able to close. Final thing that I noticed is an A+ team. If your team is a bunch of incredible salespeople operating under a great culture of no excuses and no options but winning, you're going to win. This is how our clients hit multiple 6 figures a month and get results consistently. So with that said, I hope everything that I said here makes sense and you were able to sit down and really understand whether or not PPC is for you and what to make sure that you have in place before implementing it and investing into a very costly marketing platform like PPC. It's not for everyone, and that's fine. But like I said, if you're a wholesaler, you've been in the business for more than 2 years, you have a team that all they need is leads to close deals, got systems, processes, different exit strategies at work. You have a strong marketing budget of anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 a month, and you want to pour gasoline on what you have. There should be a link in the description. Click on it, schedule a call. I'll walk you through the entire system and explain to you how it all works and what we can do to help you take your business to the next level. I've taken clients from $20,000 a month to $300,000 a month. I've taken clients from $0 to $200,000 a month. And I've taken 100 clients from $100,000 a month to over $500,000 per month in revenue. So with that said, if you checked 4 or 5 of those boxes, click that link. And if you enjoyed this video, you have any questions, drop it in the comments, like the video, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.